Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I am going to be doing a first play with the Hippest Hippos stamp set and coordinating dies that I just got from the brand new celebration brochure. If you do not have your own physical copy of the July to December mini catalog and the July-August celebration brochure, please let me know if you're here in Australia. This is how you can reach me, and I would be happy to send you copies. They are really much better to look at in print form than online. It's much easier to see what you will get and get a good sense of it. And here's what I'm playing with today. This Hippest Hippos set, and it's got coordinating dies with all kinds of cute little accessories as well as the outlines for the hippos themselves. So I have an idea. I haven't tried it yet, so we're going to play with it today. The first thing I was going to do is show you, these are red rubber stamps, and our red rubber stamps come with stickers to put on them to make them so they cling to our clear blocks. But they don't come with the stickers already on them. They come back with paper, and the foam clings, and I keep the foam outline, if you will, in the case. Some people throw it away and just keep the stamps themselves. I like to keep the foam because I can very quickly see if I've got a stamp missing before I put the set away. So I have a sentiment and one of the hippos that I'm going to use on today's card that I have not put the stickers on yet because I wanted to show you how I do that. Stampin' Up! Has a way where you peel off the backing, and then you're supposed to line up the stamp and stick it down and pull it up, and the sticker's stuck on there, which does work. I find it easier to pull off the sticker and put it on a clear block. Turn that over and bring the block, I think you can still see down here, bring the block to this, and I find I get it lined up much more accurately, much more of the time. Because once it's stuck, it really is pretty well stuck. It'll rip up the foam if you try to pull it up again. It's that sticky. This side is not so sticky. It's designed to cling and come off and do that forever. So that one's done. I'll do the same for the sentiment. And I don't have so many of them anymore. When I had our old clear mount stamps that had stickers, but they didn't have the same cling adhesive on the back of the stickers, and they didn't stick very well. When we came out with this cling adhesive, which they now sell, you can buy full sheets of just the cling adhesive. But I'm going to tell you, if you've got something like this that you can cut big chunks off to convert your old stamps, just do that. I'm always happy to sell stuff to people, but I want you to put the money where it's going to make the most impact, and paying for something you don't need to is not, I can't advocate that. So, hello Gladys, hello Paula, thanks for joining me today. I actually had a touch of gastro, as we say here in Australia, overnight. Actually, I was pretty miserable from dinner time on. But I'm doing better this morning, but I didn't have a lot of time to plan out for today's project. So I decided to pull out these, what are these called? Tea Boutique cards and envelopes. And this is the only thing from that suite that I have purchased. They use all the brand new in colors on these cards and envelopes, and they are really, really pretty. But the Tea Boutique suite, it just didn't really speak to me so much. So, but I thought these would be fun to use. So I'm going to use one of these Parakeet Party cards today, I think, with this set. Those of you here in Australia with me, you will notice these are American-sized cards, which work just fine. But just keep that in mind if you're cutting layers, your usual 10 by 14.4, if you were going to make a layer that size, it doesn't work on here. You need to use, what, 4 by 5.25 to get the equivalent. Or you can use some of these, what are they, deckled rectangles. This is my first time using these too. So I'm going to set that aside for the moment. I've got my mini Stamp and Emboss today. We'll see how this works for things. I need the base plate and 2 clear plates. So, and to dump something on the floor and to trim this down. Okay. So we will do that here. There we go. Those cracking noises are just fine. They are normal. There we go. And it's got that deckled edge, which is pretty fun. Set that aside for the moment. So that's how that's going to go on there. Set that aside again. And bring in some basic white scrap. I am going to stamp this in Memento Tuxedo Black and then do some coloring with some Stampin' Blends. You know me, I like to clean my stamp off right away so I don't have any oopsies. So, what are we going to do here? Bring in a few colors. So this is Smoky Slate Light. And let me see if I'm missing any comments. No. Hello, Mom. Thanks for joining me today. We are doing the winter thing here. Thankfully, we haven't gotten the rain and flooding that Sydney has up in New South Wales. They are just getting clobbered. And unfortunately, one of my Stampin' friends has had some flooding. And not for the first time. go. Just trying to figure out what's what here. Just trying to do a little shading. So I've done some dark smoky slate, and now I'm just doing a little bit of blending in with the light smoky slate again. I am not the best at this, but hopefully it does something just to add a little dimension. Hello, Renata. Thanks for joining me. I was trying to figure out what to do with the nose, and I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to color in with the smoky slate light. I'm going to do a little bit of this pink color at the nostrils. And then I'm going to come in now with the color lifter. And I know I've talked about this in the past. It's called a color lifter, but it's actually pushing that ink to the back of the paper. So and it takes a minute to actually show the effect. So I'm going to go all over it a little bit and then see how it's looking. Because I can come back and add more, but you can see already it's starting to push that to the back compared to other places. And we're just going to give that a minute to set and work. And I think we're going to bring in some of this parakeet party. On her leotard and come back in and try a little more of this and see how we go. So it's very, very subtle. I don't know how well you can see just that little bit of darker parakeet party in there. Just puts a little shadow. And now I'm going to bring in my sweet sorbet for the tutu. Okay, time for another tip. Sometimes these blends covers are lids are really, really hard. So this is shelf liner, just a little square of it, and that helps me get a better grip on there to pull that off. I'm going to do this for the tutu. And for her toe shoes. Yeah, I think I got part of her leg in there as part of the toe shoe, but I'm just going to live with it because there we go. And I'm going to touch up the nostrils there a little bit more pink. There, so I think you can see that this has turned out a bit lighter, which is nice to have it stand out a little bit more against her head. I'm pretty darn happy with that, I will say. So I am going to find my snips. Bring this back in to be able to cut it out. Find the right die here. There we go. Set that aside for a minute. Now, there is the sentiment I want to use. You're always on point. Let me see. Need to do a couple things. One, I'm going to bring this back in. see if this is working the way I think it should. Yes. And then I want something down there for the sentiment. So I brought in a whole bunch of different dies to figure out what I was going to use. That could be a nice choice. I could always just stamp it straight on there, but I don't think that's what I want to do. I'm going to start with this. Bring this back in. Die down. Okay, so that's going to work. But this, I think, needs a little bit more something. So let's start with I have a feeling that's not going to be, that's the same size. So this is the next size up. That's not going to be big enough. And I'm going to cut this out on my bigger cut and emboss over here. So this is Granny Apple Green, which is not working as well as I thought it would. I wonder if this size would work better though. Maybe. I am going to just play for a minute here as we go. I had something else over here. Where did it go? At least I thought I did. I'm losing things. I have very small space here. And there's just only so many places they can be, and I lose them. Ah, that would be what's here on the floor next to me. Okay, now as I look at that on my Facebook feed, I like that a lot better than I thought I would. So I am going to go with that, and I'm going to bring in, this is our foam adhesive sheet, and I want to bring in that die. That's just barely going to cut it. Let's not be quite so skimpy. So this is like this is the same as the dimensional material. It's just not been cut into little hexagons, which means that I can put it on here with my die. And run it through a couple times. And it should cut out those hearts as dimensionals. So, not to lose my die, I can set that aside for another use. Let me bring this back in here. Okay. So, like I said, I'm liking that more now. I'm figuring this out. The other thing I thought I might do was emboss this piece. This is the Stripes and Splatters 3D. Okay, so let's see about building this up now. I want her to be on her point. Yep, I think I'm gonna like that. Okay. So. You can let me know. Do you think the embossing was just one step too many? Get some big dimensionals. There we go. What do you think? And then it's got a coordinating envelope. There we go. So, thank you for joining me today. That is what I had in mind. I'm pretty pleased with that, if I say so myself. And I will be back same time, same place next week to do another project with you. Thank you for joining me. If you have questions, comments, need a catalog in Australia, need a catalog in the US, or want a recommendation for a demonstrator, I know a few. I also know some in Europe if you need someone there, or in the UK. Please get in touch with me. Here's how. Follow my blog at nancysniftynotes.com, and I've got Facebook pages and all kinds of ways to stay in touch. So please reach out if I can do anything for you. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Have a great day. Bye.